Hi, my name's Dr. Barniv and welcome to this YouTube video from Straight Up Doc, a place to get unbiased answers to your dental questions. If you read my blog at straightupdoc.com, you'll know I'm here to educate people on topics that are sometimes controversial. Is fluoride safe? Do I really need a deep cleaning? How do I know I really have a cavity? And things like that. But today I'm going to do a much less controversial video, one that simply deals with how to brush your kids' teeth. It's really easy, but you should know a few things. And before we start, I just want to remind everyone that advice I give here is just for reference and educational purposes only. It should not be considered medical advice. Always consult with your own dentist before making decisions about your or your family's dental health. So, first of all, I love electric toothbrushes, and research shows that a quality electric brush is better than a manual brush. The most popular ones are made by Oral-B and Philips Sonicare. Both are great. I personally like the Oral-B because the head is smaller and the brush feels nicer to me. The most important thing is not really which brand or even which model you get. One of the most important factors to an electric brush, in my opinion, is whether it's rechargeable or not. If you have to put batteries in the brush, then it's really just a toy and you should forget about it. As long as it's rechargeable, I don't really care if it has, Bluetooth, fancy lights, and can even brew coffee for you in the morning. The super expensive fancy models are not really any better, in my opinion, than the base versions, and you can buy them for pretty cheap at Costco and Bed Bath & Beyond and places like that. So the second thing most parents are surprised to hear is that you should floss your kids' teeth. There's simply no other way to get junk out from between their teeth. A water pick, if you've ever heard of one, is a great device, but it's a little harder to use on kids. We have floss picks like these things here, which are very useful, but can sometimes get a little hard to get in between the teeth, and so you need to be a little bit careful with those. If you only brush your kids' teeth and not floss, it doesn't mean that they're going to get cavities, but it certainly increases the risk that they will. If a piece of food gets stuck in between their teeth, brushing's not going to get it out, and it can sit in there for days. So I don't want to gross you out, but suffice it to say the most common cavities we see in kids is in between their teeth. So flossing will definitely reduce the chance they get cavities there. And it takes only about 30 seconds for me to floss my kids' teeth, and they never minded it, not even when they were really little. So set a good example and just do it. Okay, so the third thing to know is about toothpaste. I recommend you get an age-appropriate toothpaste which has just a tiny bit of fluoride in it. Once your child can rinse everything out, you can go ahead and use an adult toothpaste. You also don't need very much paste at all. You don't have to do what they do in the commercials, which is where they stick on this huge ribbon of toothpaste. For a kid, you really only need something about the size of a piece of rice. Maybe for adults, something about the size of a pea. Now, you'll see in my video today that I'm not really using any toothpaste at all, and I'm going to cover that in more detail if people are interested. But I personally feel that if you're doing a perfect job brushing their teeth and flossing properly every day, and your kids are on a low sugar and infrequent snacking diet, it's okay to use water only. But this is a bit controversial and not backed up by the latest research, so again, I'm going to leave that for another video. Also, in my experience, 99% of parents who think they're doing a perfect job brushing and flossing their kids' teeth are unfortunately not. If you don't want to take chances, just use a little bit of fluoridated toothpaste and you'll be fine. Now, let's talk about brushing. One of the first things you'll notice is that I brush their teeth while they're on their back. And why is that? If you brush their teeth when they're on a step stool, their head moves with the brush, and every time you go to the back of the mouth, their head bobs around. You have no way to see what you're doing, and that's not going to be the perfect job that I mentioned. Brushing in the bath, same problem. When they're on their backs, you control everything, the cheeks, the lips, head position, everything. You also have light from above, so you can see what you're doing, and you aren't breaking your back in the process. And look at what we dentists do. We don't clean your teeth while you're standing up, right? There's a good reason you lie back in the chair for your dental work. So whether your kids are still in diapers or not, I find that a changing table with a changing pad is actually at a pretty good height to start with. So my kids are used to getting their teeth brushed this way. So when I do it, it looks easy. If you're doing this for the first time, you are likely to encounter resistance. Don't give up too quickly. Everyone needs time to adjust. Most parents tell me it took them about 2 weeks before they got in the groove. Once you get it down, you'll never look back because life will be so much easier for you, and most importantly, your kids' teeth will show the difference. There are cases where really young kids or just very stubborn kids may take longer, My younger son took almost 6 months of nightly battles before he finally gave in, and after that, it was a breeze. But I never gave up, and now I enjoy the fruits of my labor, and his teeth do too, obviously. So studies do show that younger kids simply don't have the coordination to manipulate a brush properly. No matter how much your kid likes to brush, they just can't do it on their own until they're older. I also recommend starting to brush their teeth as soon as they get teeth. It's not necessarily so critical, but it's a lot easier to brush their teeth when they're older and they've gotten used to it from a very young age. But it's never too late to start. It might just take a little extra time to get used to it. Also, if your child has only a few teeth and is very young, you don't need an electric brush and 2 minutes with flossing. You just need to get a lot more serious about that when they get their molars, their back teeth in. Until then, you can go with a gentle motion using a soft brush and a tiny amount of fluoridated toothpaste, which they swallow, and that should be okay. I do have parents talk to me about not brushing their kids' teeth at all because they want their child to be independent, or they say that their child really likes to brush on their own. And that's fine if they do, but you still need to brush and floss their teeth for them at least 2 minutes daily. They can do it in the morning, but you need to do it in the evening, or they can do the first 30 seconds and then you can do the next 2 minutes, whatever. Sometimes when I tell parents to brush their kids' teeth, they tell me it's too much of a battle. Well, as they say, pick your battles. This is one battle you need to pick and win. If you want to give in on TV time or letting them snack once in a while on something they like, that's probably okay. But you don't want to negotiate over their oral health. If small kids get enough cavities, they sometimes need extensive dental work and in some cases have treatment done under general anesthesia. Untreated dental problems can cause swelling, pain, can even make your child really sick. Decayed baby teeth can even affect the spacing in their mouths or cause the permanent teeth to be damaged underneath them. So don't go there. Let your kids show their independence in other ways. I really believe you have to brush your kids' teeth until they're at least about 7 years old, maybe even later. In my house, it'll probably be until they're married, but hey, that's me. So let's get started and see how I do it. We'll start here with my 6-year-old. He's pretty used to this, so he jumps right up onto his back. Here I am flossing. Not to be gross, but also notice I'm getting pieces of food out, things that would stay stuck there if I wasn't flossing. Notice how quickly this is going, maybe 20-30 seconds total. Okay, let's get on to the brushing. He has 24 teeth now, as most 6-year-olds do, so you need to put in more effort on getting all the way to the back teeth. I like to start on the upper left. The brush has a handy 30-second timer, so I'm starting on the tops here, then working around to the sides. Also notice how when I come around to the cheek side of the back teeth, I tell him to close a little. When he closes, it opens up more room there for the brush. Notice I'm holding the brush at a 45-degree angle down towards the gums. I literally want the bristles to get down in the pockets between the teeth and the gums. If I want to get the insides of the upper teeth, I tell him the opposite. I ask him to open wide. Also, notice that I move the brush in different directions and brush from different angles. This assures me I'm really getting every square millimeter. Now I work down on the bottom, and this is the hardest part. Notice how to get on the tongue side. I use my thumb and forefingers to pull his cheek out of the way and push his tongue out too. Now notice how I'm brushing the inside and outside of the front teeth. I'm not brushing the tops of them, but doing an up and down and side to side motion. Now I'm on to the final corner. The important thing is that the brush touches every square millimeter and the inside of the lower molars is a commonly missed area. Again, I may or may not have to push the tongue out of the way. In this case, I don't need to. Okay, we're done. With flossing, this took 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and his teeth are perfectly brushed. Our next customer here is a 4-year-old, and he has only 20 teeth, so it's easier in that regard. But younger kids tend to be harder to work on. Luckily, he's used to it, but as I said, it took me months of work before he finally let me brush him without a fight. Everyone can do it. It's just a matter of patience and experience. Again, we're flossing. Less than 30 seconds. Now let's brush. Same thing as before. Now I'll move over to the other side. Again, notice I change brushing directions sometimes to get at the teeth from different angles. Now notice again how I get at the sides next to the tongue. This is the hardest part. This definitely takes practice. I'm making it look easier than it is. But with practice, you will be great at it too. This is where most kids build up a lot of junk if it isn't brushed well. I'm still doing this for 2 minutes. It seems like a long time, I know, but I'm here to tell you it's not, and it's fine, and you'll all get used to it. Okay, now remember, no eating or drinking anything except water until morning. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give me a like below and check out my blog at straightupdoc.com, where you can follow me to get the latest updates and information on new videos. If you have suggestions for other videos or topics you'd like to see covered, you can comment below or on straightupdoc.com. Thanks for watching and happy brushing.